Welcome to DiverTin.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Logitech M535. It is Logitech's foray into low-cost Bluetooth mice. And being low-cost, obviously, is also in this kind of cheap packaging. I hate these kind of destroy once and never use again type packages, but it's a no-frills package, and what this is, as you look at it, it is a simple, small Bluetooth mouse with a mode button up top here and a scroll wheel. So let's cut this thing open and take a look at what this mouse is like. Okay, after struggling with the lovely plastic packaging that this is and destroying it, getting the mouse out, you're left with this little back cover part, which you can see here is simply instructions for how to get started and pairing it up with multiple devices, or actually just whichever device you want to go to. So let's take a look at the mouse itself, and we can see that underneath here we have the pads, an on-off switch and a pair switch, and of course pull this out to activate the battery. Now this actually does have battery. It uses a single AA battery, so it doesn't require rechargeable batteries. Doesn't mean you can't use those. You can use some end loops, for example. So you have your standard two button left right mouse button here. You have toggle for left and right motions, and this kind of mode button, which I'm going to believe that with Logitech options you can probably program it for middle or gesture options. And that's about it. It's pretty straightforward. It's got a kind of rubberized material on the sides here, hard plastic on the top of the buttons, and plastic on the bottom here. So let's go pair this up and try it out on a couple of devices. Alright, so let's take a look at the M353 compared to, say, my Logitech MX Anywhere 2 and one of my other Bluetooth mice, my Technet BM306. And so we'll take a look at these two first. Now, since these are closest in the family, as you can see that they're about the same size. This is a little bit bigger. It's a little bit heavier than the 535. So the weight-wise is definitely a little bit heavier on this guy, but it feels more substantial compared to this. This kind of feels a little bit more on the cheapy side. But once again, a lot of it kind of depends on your flavor, and if you like mice a little bit more hefty than this. So this feels a little bit more hollow. So mouse click wise, you can see the click sound on this one. It's a similar sounding, but this is actually a bit nicer, a little more premium feel than these. These feel a little more clickety, a little more on a cheapy side. But once again, it's one of those things. This mouse is a hell of a lot more expensive than this one. One thing you also lack is the forward and backward buttons here, and they also lack the ability to sync up with the three devices. This also, the MX series has what's called their dark field laser, so it supposedly works better on a lot of materials like through glass and so forth. And this is more of a standard laser, so you will probably not perform as well on glass material. But you see they both have this this little gesture button, which is nice. This is a little more clickety than this one. So once again, you're a little bit more premium materials on this. Scroll wheel is a definite difference. So this one here is a little more of a little squishy clickety type of thing. This is a little more loud to click, but when you click on this, it goes into like this smooth scrolling mode that this does not have. So moving on to another mouse that's a little bit more closer to the range is the Technet BM306 that I have, another Bluetooth mouse. This is a little bit bigger, obviously, than the 535 here. There's a bit more ergonomic design as well, too. This actually is a bit more agnostic. So actually, this is actually going to be good for left-handed people as opposed to this one. This one, once again, is more sculpted for right-handed. You have the forward and backward buttons. This does not have left side to side, unlike this one. And this is not a gesture button. This is just actually a DPI toggle. So this one is also a little bit cheapy feeling, but it does its purpose and it works just fine. So those two we'll look at, and so here we are. So this one, once again, the big thing is that you can use it as a left-handed without a problem because it is shape agnostic, so it's not really shaped one way or another for left or right. As opposed to this one, even though this one you can use left-handed, these buttons are strictly on one side for the right-handed user. So, all right, so let's hook this guy up to one of my machines, and we'll give it a go for performance. So here I have my Surface Book, and pairing it up as simple as can be. Basically, you go to the settings, and you go to the devices, and go to Bluetooth, and I already paired it up. And so just turning it on, you'll see that it is, where is it? There somewhere. There, right here. So you have your Bluetooth mouse. It's basically shares the same settings as the M336, 337, and the 535. So there, it's hooked up. Nice thing about this mouse as well is it actually works with the options software. So if you go to Logitech options, and launch it, you'll see all the devices I have, and it appears right here as the basically that same setting there. And so there you are, your settings for this. You can actually change the options for this little top button to be, which is default gesture button. You can have this as the middle button, which is kind of nice. So if you're using 3D applications and want a middle button, this falls back into that category. And you have left and right and forward, so you can do forward and backwards for your browser functions here. So, for example, the gesture buttons, once again, if you're not familiar with them, it's really kind of nice. With Windows 10, you have options to basically do a start menu, the show hide desktop, and if you have virtual desktop set up, you can toggle between them by just clicking on and scrolling the mouse back and forth, which is really kind of cool. And then the task, then if you click on it, it goes into the task view. So you click on it, the task view of all the things that are running on your system, and you can go to the start menu this way, which I don't think is as useful, but you can do that. You bring it up, so up, and you get start menu. Once again, you click on that to get this task view, and then left and right for that. So it's very, very nice. So if you're going to use, say, oh, I don't want to bring that one up, but let's see, where is my, I am not on the network for some reason. So let's get ourselves back on the network. Wi-Fi didn't hook up again, so we will, all right, so I am on Wi-Fi now. All right, so let's hook up, let's bring up a browser and go someplace like my blog, for example. And once you get there, you have the scrolling action right here. So it does kind of a jump scroll. It's not a very smooth scroll, unfortunately, but it's not bad. It'll get you where you need to quickly. So you can see just kind of flick of the mouse wheel there. Gets me to where I need to. I can use the wheel left and right here to go forward and backwards, which is kind of handy. So for the lack of thumb buttons on the side here, you can just set this up by default, and actually it is set up by default being forward and backwards with the wheel. So it's a nice mouse. It's definitely it's Logitech's low-cost entry into Bluetooth mice, and it's nice to have options finally, because beforehand the only real options for Bluetooth were expensive mice such as the MX Anywhere 2 or the MX Master or the Microsoft Arc mouse for Surface Edition, which will run you over $50 for all of them. This one runs about $30 you can get for, so it's actually kind of a nice mouse that is not tethered to some sort of USB dongle. So if you have any questions about this mouse or things about what I've done here, feel free to send me a message. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.